Hey, this is C.Anthony Harris. Some of you guys know me as C.Anthony Harris, aka Mr. Outstanding, and the founder of Pseudo Foundation. A church living in excellence, peace, joy, happiness, prosperity. Thank you for looking at this video. Who is C.Anthony Harris? Well, I was born in London, England in 1962. My mom and dad is Shirley and Herbert Harris. They're from Guyana, South America. And in the early 60s, they wanted a better life. And they migrated from Guyana to London, England, where they had myself and my sister Sharon. And we lived there. Our life was grand. Until I was 7 years old, I remember seeing my mom and dad was packing up. And I said, what's going on? And they said they're moving to America for a better life. I was excited about that. But they had a different plan for us. You see, what they did is they took myself and my sister, they dropped us off to Guyana, South America, to spend a short time with our grandparents while they settled in the United States. That short period of time in Guyana ended up being 7 years. That's right, 7 long years. And it was very disappointing, but it was very beneficial. Could you imagine your mom and dad, after 7 years, just drop you off to some two ladies that you don't know? They're your grandmother, you don't know them. Not to mention, Guyana is a total different ballgame from London, England. You see, Guyana is a barren land, undeveloped. It was totally different. So I rebelled. Nevertheless, it was a sacrifice. Because my mom and dad, they sacrificed being away from their kids for 7 years. We saw my mom and dad once within that 7-year period. Now, during that 7 years, from 7 to 14, before we came to the United States and reunion back with our parents, we spent that time with Granny Pearl and Granny Doris. I tell you, those two ladies, God bless them. And my grandfather Felix and Basil, and I had another grandfather also that was my grandfather who taught me some real principles of discipline, which is grandfather Cyril. So in all essences, I had 2 grandmothers and 3 grandfathers. So that 7 years I went to school there, but you know what? I miss my parents. I wanted my parents. If you speak to Doris, my grandmother, she'll say I was a rebel. I was a bad guy. I was a bad kid. But I was pretty much retaliating. I wanted to be my parents. Not to mention Guyana is an undeveloped country. Can you imagine going to the bathroom at the back of the yard? Can you imagine don't have any TV, we didn't have any telephones, we didn't have any internet. Oh no, we entertain ourselves. But a lot of great things came out of being in Guyana for those 7 years. It was like a lifetime. 7 years was like a lifetime. I'll give 7 years again for what I've learned from my grandmothers and grandfathers and uncles and aunts and the culture that's in Guyana. I learned how to be a young man. I learned how to wash clothes without a washing machine. I learned how to do dishes. I learned how to keep a house. I learned how to farm in the backyard. That's right. I learned how to go to church and Sunday school and how to have manners. We learned a lot of great stuff that made me a better person today. And I always thank my grandmothers, both of them, because if it wasn't for them, I'm not sure if I'd turn out to be the C.Anthony Harris that you guys all know. So in 1977, my parents came for us. Woo! That was a big celebration, but it was a bittersweet situation because we're going to leave our grandparents, leave Guyana, leave all our families and friends, leave what we learned during that period of time to go now with our parents. So it was a bittersweet situation. We had no other choice. So in 1977, came to the United States, Brooklyn, New York. I'll never forget, the 13th of January was bitter cold compared to Guyana, freezing cold. And there we started my second life from 14. I went to junior high school, college, became an adult. But you know what? What I noticed from Guyana to America, I wanted more. I saw that America had opportunity. I saw, hey, I can advance compared to being in Guyana. And I wrote to my grandmothers and all my families promising them, hey, you come to America, I'm going to get you here. I'm going to be a success. I'm going to be rich. And I spoke all those things. Even my grandmother used to say, boy, stop speaking all that stupidness, boy. But that was in my heart. I'm the oldest of 3. I'm the only son. I was the first grandson. I was the first nephew. I was the first of everything. First great-grandson, first brother, all that. So I had sort of I was proud, if you will, and I wanted more, especially after coming to the United States. And I studied computer science, went to college, but I had to stop college at an early age. Not an early age, but in my third year in college, I had to stop because I became a dad. I got a little bit sidetracked from focusing on the things I was supposed to do in life, and straight away. And we all do that. It's called failure, it's called mistakes. But I learned and learned and learned. And living in New York was pretty good, but I never liked the cold. And I always had these big dreams. I had big dreams, and you should also have your big dreams. You should pursue your dreams. And I pursued some of those dreams. Some were successful, some were not. The majority of them weren't successful because I didn't know what I was doing. Okay? And then in 1995, I came across my mentor. And that's where my life changed. And that's where most of you guys met me. From being an entrepreneur, I knew I didn't want to work a job. Being an entrepreneur, I wanted to have my freedom, and I saw my mentor. He gave me 90 days. He said, you run me for 90 days, you'll never work the next day in your life. I did. In 100 days, I fired my boss, never to work again. And he started teaching me about dreams. He said, you got to have dreams. He said, your mom and dad had dreams. That's why your dad left, and your mom left Guyana to go to England. They had dreams, but they pursued it. They took action. They made sacrifices. You made sacrifices as well. Well, I had a big dream. I didn't like to be in the cold. I don't like oak trees. I like palm trees. And I spoke to my mentor about that. That's the important thing about having a mentor. You can talk to your mentor about anything. They're a trusted counselor. And my mentor showed me the big vision of fulfilling that dream. He said, you can go 3 different countries if you don't want to live in a place that has oak trees. You can either go to Florida, you can go to the Caribbean, or you can go to California. They have palm trees. Those 3 places. And I did my research, no internet back then, 1995, and I came up with the conclusion, we're going to California. And I set a game plan with my mentor, and in 2000, I beat the system, migrated from Brooklyn, New York, to sunny California, a place called Torrance, the South Bay, and I've been there ever since on the West Coast, representing the West Coast. The purpose of me sharing this is that I wanted to let you know that if we're going to collaborate together, you have to know a little bit about myself. I'm passionate about fulfilling my dreams. I just became 54 years this year. I'm living my second 50 years. My first 50 years, I had no control of it. As you can tell, my first 7 years was with my parents in England. Then my second 7 years were with my grandparents. And then my third 7 years with my parents again. Right? That's 21 years right there. I had no control of anything. They told me what to do. The government, the community, the schools, the neighborhood, family and friends, the economy, the TV, my influence, my friends. They influenced those first 50 years, and I only had 16 of those years that I had control of. And I did pretty well. But I want to do magnificent. So here I am, the 4th year of my next 50. I'm designing the way I want to design it, and I'm going to design it with some of you guys. Okay? And I want you to know that you'll never find anyone that's as positive, that's working high morals and ethics, that is God-fearing, and that's respectable as yours truly, C.Anthony. I want to help everyone to win. My philosophy is to help everyone rise up spiritually, mentally, physically, professionally, and financially. That's what CAnthony is all about, and I'd love for you to be a part of the next 50 with me on my endeavor to greatness, because what I'm building here, what I'm doing here, I'm leaving a legacy. This will go on forever, just like Nelson Mandela's vision, just like Martin Luther King, just like John F. Kennedy, just like Mahatma Gandhi, any great prophet or philosopher, that's where I'm coming from, but I need a group of people to do with me. So I trust you know a little bit more about C.Anthony. Right now, we're looking to go across the world and then into space with some of you guys. Why not? The next frontier. So thank you very much. God bless you. To do your best must be your best. Be your best must do your best. It's yours truly, C.Anthony. Hey, if you're not buying, you're dying. Peace and blessings. Yes, and I thank you.